Good day everyone, it's me, Emma Hembesao, a Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English student of Cebu Technological University, Barili Campus. And yes, I'm back for another instructional video. And for today's video, it's gonna be a video tutorial on the fundamentals of technical writing, specifically subject-verb agreement. So today we'll be dealing with subject-verb agreement. So we'll be learning how to construct sentences with the correct usage of subject-verb agreement. So if you're interested, just keep on watching. Hello guys, today we will be dealing with the fundamentals of technical writing. And to start with, let's have subject-verb agreement. So what is subject-verb agreement? The fact that the subject and verb in a sentence must agree in number is referred to as subject-verb agreement. To put it in another way, they must either be singular or plural. Take note, a singular subject cannot be used with a plural verb and vice versa. Now, let us define the subject. The subject is a part of a sentence or clause in English grammar that usually shows first, what the sentence or clause is about, or second, who or what performs the action. Now, how can we identify the subject in a sentence? Turning a sentence into who or what question is the most effective way of identifying the subject. Let's say, for example, the dog barks loudly. By turning the sentence into who or what question, we can say who barks loudly. So it's the dog that barks loudly. So basically, the dog is the subject in the sentence. Now let us define the verb. A verb is a phrase or a group of words that describes an action, a state of being, or a situation. The part of a sentence that tells us what the subject does is called a verb. Now that we have defined already the subject and the verb, let us proceed to the usage of subject-verb agreement. In terms of number, subjects and verbs must agree. Whether a subject is singular, the verb must be singular as well. If the subject is plural, the verb must be plural as well. In present tenses, nouns and verbs form plurals in opposite ways. For the nouns or subject, add an s to the singular form, but for the verbs, remove an s from the singular form. Now let's take a look on these examples. The girl works on the farm. The girls work on the farm. In the first example, the noun or the subject girl is singular, so it takes a singular verb also, which is works. Now, you might be confused why the verb works is singular when it has an s. Well, let me correct your thinking. The verb works is actually singular but plural in form. You get it? And for the second example, the girls with an s is a plural subject, so it takes a plural verb, work, without an s. Now, let's move on to the 12 subject-verb agreement rules. First rule states that a phrase or clause between subject and verb does not change the number of the subject. Let's say, for example, a group of boys stands on the floor. The verb stands agrees with the subject group, not with boys. The children who went to the seashore were enjoyed. The verb were agrees with the subject children, not with seashore. So now let's proceed to the second rule, which is the indefinite pronouns as subjects. Singular indefinite pronoun subjects take singular verbs. Example: everyone does their part for the presentation. So as you can see, everyone is a singular indefinite pronoun subject, so it takes a singular verb, which is does. Next is plural indefinite pronoun subjects take plural verbs. Example: many do their part for the presentation. So the subject many is plural, so it takes a plural verb, which is do. While some indefinite pronouns may be either singular or plural. With uncountable, use singular, and with countable, use plural. Example: Some of the sand is wet. Sand is uncountable, therefore the sentence has a singular verb. Next, we have some of the clips are on the table. Clips are countable, therefore the sentence has a plural verb. Now let's proceed to the third rule, which is compound subjects joined by and are always plural. Let's say, for example, a mango and a graham make a dessert. A mango and a graham is plural, therefore it takes a plural verb, make. Now let's move on to the fourth rule, which states that with compound subjects joined by or nor, the verb agrees with the subject nearer to it. For example, neither the principal nor the teachers are perfect. In the above example, the plural verb are agrees with the nearer subject, teachers. Next, let's have neither the teachers nor the principal is perfect. In this example, the singular verb is agrees with the nearer subject, principal. Now let's proceed to the fifth rule, which states that inverted subjects must agree with the verb. For example, guard, there is a thief in the house. In this example, the verb, which is singular, agrees with the subject, thief. Now let's have another example. There are 3 thieves in the house. Meanwhile, the verb, which is plural, agrees with the subject, thieves. Now let's jump into the sixth rule of subject-verb agreement. Collective nouns such as group, jury, crowd, team, and etc. may be singular or plural depending on meaning. Let's have an example. The committee has a meeting. In this example, the committee is acting as one unit. Therefore, the verb is singular. Now let's have another example. The committee members have been doing great. In this example, the committee members are acting as individuals. Therefore, the verb is plural. Next, we have titles of single entities such as books, organizations, countries, and etc. are always singular. For example, the farm of CTU does the responsibility. So in this sentence, the subject, the farm, talks about an organization. It is singular, therefore it takes singular verb. Now we're down to the eighth rule of subject-verb agreement, which is about plural form subjects. Plural form subjects with a singular meaning take a singular verb. For example, measles is an infection caused by a virus. Measles is a singular form of subject, so it takes a singular verb. Next, we have plural form subjects with singular or plural meaning take a singular or plural verb depending on meaning. For example, news is important. In this example, news is a single topic. Therefore, the sentence has a singular verb. Next example, we have the news of today's events were bad. In this example, news refers to the many happenings or situation. Therefore, the sentence has a plural verb. Next, we have plural form subjects with a plural meaning take a plural verb. For example, the slippers are on the door. The slippers is a plural subject, therefore it takes a plural verb, are. Next, we have the pair of slippers is on the door. The sentence contains singular subject and singular verb. Note that in this example, the subject of the sentence is pair. Therefore, the verb must agree with it. Because slippers is the object of the preposition, slippers does not affect the number of the verb. So now let's proceed to the ninth rule, which states that with a subject and subjective complement of different number, the verb always agrees with the subject. So first we have singular form of subject and verb, my favorite topic is Stories by Ernest Hemingway. Second, let's have the plural form of subject and verb. Stories by Ernest Hemingway are my favorite topic. And for the 10th rule, first we have with one of those blank who use a plural verb. For example, Emma is one of those girls who like to dance. The example implies that others besides Emma like to dance. Therefore, the plural verb is the correct form to use. Next, we have with the only one of those blank who use a singular verb. For example, Emma is the only one of those girls who likes to dance. The above example implies that no one else except for Emma likes to dance. Therefore, the singular verb is the correct form to use. So now we're down to our 11th rule. First, we have with the number of blank, use a singular verb. For example, the number of crimes rises each day. Second, with a number of blank, use a plural verb. For example, a number of children enjoy each weekend. So a number, when a sentence uses a number, it takes a plural verb. And when it uses the number, it takes singular verb. So now we're down into our last rule, which is with every blank and many a blank, use a singular verb. For example, every student cooperates in the event. So the subject uses every, so it takes singular verb. Second example, many a person wants to be heard. The subject uses many a, so it takes singular verb.